Hey, this is Gabbyrae Talker here to report with an investigative video to why Tamar Braxton was reported to have been fired from the TV talk show The Real. And here are my findings. According to blogger Love B. Scott, Braxton was let go from The Real on Friday, May 20th after her last and final outburst on the set. B. Scott says the reason is Braxton didn't test well with the audience and advertisers. As a result, over the weekend, Tamar announced on Instagram to her followers that someone stabbed her in the back. She gave no clues as to the name of the backstabbing person. Then she posted this message on Instagram, which says,
I love you all, but I have been stabbed in the back by someone I stupidly trust. Not my man or my sisters. I am not about to be tried and tested to snitch. And it's not in good taste to tell you who. But as Tamartians, you are very smart and can figure things out on your own. But know that everyone who smiles in your face is not your friend and is not cheering for you and will lie and try to tear you down and try to dim your light. Thank God, He holds my future in my hand. Remember who you are. I am Tamar Braxton. And if you thought for a second you played me in the late great Prince and the amazing Beyonce voice, you played yourself. To God be the glory, and I will be taking a short break from all social media. Until then, love yourself and watch your back. I put this picture up because this is the embrace I got when my sister and best friend that she always gives when she knows I've been had.
From what I found is that allegedly Tamar Braxton had a temper tantrum, behaving like a diva on set in front of sponsors, and she was fired afterwards. They said this is something she has done before, and now she's trying to blame others for her faults. There's been all types of speculation in the media of who may have gotten Tamar fired. Even Wendy Williams seemed to have been opinionated about the situation over the weekend, which landed her into a bit of a fuse with Loni Love. Let's hear what Wendy Williams had to say about The Real, followed by Loni Love getting on YouTube and voicing her opinion about Wendy Williams and the entire situation with Tamar.
Weekend got kind of bumpy when we all heard that Tamar was fired from The Real, allegedly leaving. They say it's a mutual decision. Don't worry, my investigation is not fully done. And I'm about to give you my opinion. Because then Tamar put some hints out there on her social media saying that someone stabbed her in the back, and she said it's not her sisters and it's not her husband. So who do you think it is? Especially when you see that she dropped Loni Love, Jeannie Mai, and Adrienne Bailon from her social media, but kept Tia Tamara. So Tamar and Tia Tamara are still like this. Them other three broads have been dropped. Now, upon further investigation, okay, so they stopped filming the show for the season, so nobody has to, sit and screw face each other. Although it's taped, though, so they could always stop and then redo if somebody looks screwish. I think that when Loni Love, all due respect, when you were here last week, you knew what was about to go down.
So this is what Loni Love had to say.
Hey everybody, this is Loni Love, and I was sitting there enjoying Wendy. I like watching her show, and Monday she made some comments, and I just want to clear up some things because all of this is kind of getting out of control and it's getting out of hand, and it's hurting my friend Tamar. And nobody knows that I'm putting this out, so this will be to everyone. Some of you may know I did the Wendy Williams same show. It aired on Friday, but we taped it on Thursday. And on Monday, she talked about Tamar not continuing with The Real. And she said that when Lonnie came on the show, I think Lonnie knew. Now, I love you, Wendy, but I have to say, I didn't know. We taped your show on Thursday, and none of us found out about Tamar until Tamar texted us on Saturday. And it was Saturday afternoon. I remember because I was taking a nap, because I had to get ready for my 2 shows, because you know I had to take my nap. And I got a group text from Tamar. She says, I heard I'm being fired. First person to answer was Tamara. I woke up from my nap, and so I answered about an hour later. I immediately called her. I said, what are you talking about? I did not, she didn't pick up, and I ended up texting her on the group text, and I said, please let me know what's going on. Adrian is in Puerto Rico, which is a time difference. Jeannie is in Singapore, which is a time difference as well. So everybody is all over, and with time differences and things like that, it's really hard to immediately answer her back. But everybody, in some way, all the hosts tried to contact her. Saturday was the first time that I had heard about, she said she heard she might get fired. Then that's when we got a phone call from Telepictures, and they confirmed that she was no longer let go. I asked, it's an individual phone call, so I was able to talk one-on-one, and I asked why. They told me basically none of my business, because it's between Tamar, her management, and them, which, okay, and I couldn't get any response out of Tamar. I just want to clear that up, because I would not have done Wendy's show. And Wendy, you know this. You know me. Tamar knows me. I would not have done her show coming on there, kiki and ha-ha, if I would have known that she was not going to be on season 3. When we wrapped our show for season 2, we had a photo shoot. Tamar was part of that. We were planning on going to Essence. She was part of that. So there was no indication that Tamar was going to be let go. There was no group thing. And let me tell you guys something. We as the host, we don't have that type of power. I had that type of power. I had my own show. Okay? I don't fire people.
And I'm not saying that Lonnie and Jeannie and Adrian have enough power to get one of their co-hosts fired, but I'll tell you what. When wheels squeak too much, and then shows start looking at the budget, and they're like, well, she is kind of diva-ish. That was the word regarding Tamar. Diva-ish. You know what I call it? I call it little sister syndrome. Because you see it even on the reality show. Like, and it's cute until you have to deal with it every day or deal with it in your own personal life, Tamar. They were saying that Tamar's not advertising friendly and that she had, like, her ways about her. And I guess it might have gotten under the other girl's skin. But instead of saying it, boy, you all played like you all got along so well on TV. Anyway, do I think that these the 3 girls remaining, well, the 4th, but Tia doesn't count because she's still friends with Tamar. Do I think those 3 girls collectively could have gotten her fired? No. Do I think that if they complain enough that the suits would start looking? Absolutely.
Lonnie Love's response?
We genuinely all like each other. What you see on the table is what you see. Sometimes we might be irritated with each other. Sometimes we might, smack or whatever, aggressive eye rolling that we all do. That's just part of the nature of the show. But we generally like each other. I hold Tamar's hand, and I'm still holding her hand. She's my friend, and I'm very devastated just like she is. And naturally, I understand that she's upset.
Hey, Lonnie, is it true that you're really good friends with B. Scott, the person on the blog that originally let all this information out? And now everybody's...
Andy, you asked the question at the end. You're saying, Lonnie, is it true that you and B. Scott are friends? I don't know B. Scott. I've never met B. Scott. The only way I know that how he looks is because of his blogs with that pretty beautiful picture of him. It's a beautiful picture. But I've never met B. Scott. I don't know him. And I'm not the type of person to give out information because I don't know anything. I just want to clear that up because I would not have done Wendy's show. And Wendy, you know this. You know me. Tamar knows me. I would not have done her show coming on there, kiki and ha-ha, if I would have known that she was not going to be on season 3. When we wrapped our show for season 2, we had a photo shoot. Tamar was part of that. We were planning on going to Essence. She was part of that. So there was no indication that Tamar was going to be let go. There was no group thing.
Especially because, unlike the other girls, there are 2 checks going to Tamar's house. One for Vince as executive producer, so now he's out, and one for Tamar. And
Okay, Wendy Williams, let's get your facts straight. Vincent Herbert was not the executive producer of The Real. The executive producer is Rachel Miskowick. She was hired in the summer of 2015 to replace the original executive producer that started The Real, and that was Sally Ann Salsano. She was the executive producer of Jersey Shore. So I don't know why people are saying that Vincent Herbert, Tamar's husband, was the executive producer of The Real. If that were the case, Tamar would have never been fired. Perhaps they're confusing it with her other show, Tamar and Vince. But in terms of The Real, Sally Ann Salsano was the original executive producer who started the show and handpicked each one of the cast members, including Tamar Braxton. Then in the summer of 2015, Rachel Miskowick was hired by Telepictures Warner Brothers to be the executive producer of The Real. So now that the executive producer has been clarified, let's get to the real reason why Tamar Braxton was booted from The Real. DailyMail.com report that Tamar Braxton had on-set tantrums, pissing off sponsors and aggressively rolling her eyes and smacking her mouth. Here are a list of reasons why Tamar Braxton was released from The Real. Number 1, becoming unbearable to work with. Number 2, during a final taping in early May, Braxton cursed out the show executive producer in an earshot of staffers on set in an ugly scene. Reason number 3, she acted out in front of sponsors and in front of the audience and exploded behind scenes once the show was done. Producers had to heavily edit the segment to make it presentable on air, but the sponsor witnessed it all. Another reason Tamar was released from the show is because focus group research showed educated and working women did not identify with Tamar's use of words known as popular among drag queens. It was said that she seemed more suited to be a judge on RuPaul Drag Race rather than being a talk show host on The Real. And this concludes my report. And what have I concluded? That Tamar Braxton should take a good look at the man in the mirror. I'm Gabbyrae Talker. Come follow me on my social networks and at isoclassifieds.com. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.